Sup, girl? So here it is, the PlayStation 5. Oh my god, so excited for this. I was a little worried because I thought it got stolen because when I went home to pick this up, it wasn't at my front door despite the delivery people saying that it was, and it turns out they delivered it to the downstairs part of my home, and yeah, I kind of had a mini heart attack, but got it. And we're going to see what this baby has in store for it. So I did the Xbox Series X unboxing, and the unboxing for that video you will find in a link below. It was like a press kit. It was really like an experience of unlocking a cool device. It was really well done. So I'm seeing what Sony did. Very interested. And I am fueled up on Wampa juice. This is actually really good. I got this from G Fuel. Not sponsored. I just purchased it. So yeah, none of this is sponsored. Not even the Turtle Beach headset, which I freaking love. And if they want to sponsor me, they can. Alright, so I'm not really a fan of this type of packaging. You'll see this like this because it feels like it can break easily, but you know, whatever. Alright. Bit of a hassle to get out. Ooh. Oh wow, double layers. Ooh. Yes, careful. Oh wow, okay. Kind of reminds me of an Alienware game, Alienware laptop. So we can see here, PlayStation logo. That new gaming console smell, I love it. Ooh. Oh, and it's another package inside the package. And it's very hard to get. Oh, it's not. Well, I'm an idiot. Oh, okay, I get this. Alright, so let's see what's in here. We got your instruction manual with all the legal jargon about what not to do with your PlayStation 5. Put that on the side because it's important to have that for legal reasons. Ooh, power cable. Always nice to have. What's this? Oh, it's the stand for the system. We'll get that on later. What else is in here? HDMI. Nice. I have like 8 of these now, which is nice because I always end up losing them. The PlayStation 5 controller, which we will get to as well later. So that's everything that's in here. Keep it nice and organized. Put it down. Alright, let's get to the bulk. The reason people are clamoring for the system. It's a bit heavy. Not as... Oh, wow, it's actually heavier than the Xbox Series X. It's a bit heavier. Alright, put that there so I can store it. Packaging. So it's definitely not as an experience like the Xbox Series X with the whole... I still have the tape thing from there where it's power your dreams. It's more of a standard packaging that you would expect from any console that they've sold in the last 10 years, like PlayStation, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, PlayStation Portable, PlayStation Go, which was their mobile phone attempt. But yeah, let's get this baby out of here so I can admire its greatness. And wow, that is big! Holy crap. I'm just astonished by this because people were complaining about the size of the Xbox Series X, but this is like a monolith. Holy crap, look at that. Seto Kaiba would be proud of this. Like, this is my baby now. Looks just like Seto Kaiba with his little, wow. So I do have the physical edition because I am old and prefer physical releases. Because just in case the internet goes out or you can't, the world ends, I'll always have my physical editions. But yeah, oh my god. So here's the disk drive. Really smooth. I don't like glossy plastic when they use on consoles because it just leaves smudges and you always have to clean that to keep it nice and pristine. I don't like smudges on my consoles. And yeah, I kind of wish they went for a more coarse design like the Xbox Series X or their PlayStation 4 consoles instead of like the PlayStation 3 glossy, the original PlayStation 3, which was backwards compatible with PlayStation 1, 2 games. It had that glossy feel. I just don't like that. It leaves fingerprint smudges. So as you can see, it is really sexy. Like, this design is incredible. I love it. Other than, you know, the glossy feel. So what we have back here, we have two USB ports, Ethernet cable, HDMI port, and power. So a little, very basic, like it. Lots of vents on the side. Good. Let's see if I can install the stand. Apparently it's very easy. Oh, this is how it looks like on its side. Not really a fan of that. It doesn't look that great. It looks like it's about to shoot a Kamehameha beam. Like, this is where it originates and it's boom, right there. That's how I always saw it. It's like, it looks like a beam just going out. But yeah, that's what it looks like on its side. And let's see if I can get the stand on this thing. Apparently it's super easy, and if an idiot like me can do it, anyone can do it. So you just basically slap it into the side. There are two hooks, and it just goes on the side of the console, and you turn it over, and that's basically it. Looks like it's just hovering, but yeah, very easy. We've seen the system, and on its side, let's compare it to the Xbox Series X. Okay. And there you have it. It's like, I would say, wow, that is a huge difference in terms of size. Like, wow. I mean, in terms of width, difference is present. But yeah, look at that. This one takes a lot less room, and yeah. I've been playing the Xbox Series X a lot lately. Played 20 hours of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Then I still have to do Miles Morales. Then Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. It's going to be a really busy time. I don't understand how those other YouTube channels have all the games already out. But, you know, I'm by myself. But either way, there we go. Pretty cool. I'm kind of going to see how the ventilation works on both systems. I didn't make note of that on my Xbox Series X performance, but up here does get a little hot when you play certain performance-demanding games like The Witcher 3 or Batman Arkham Knight, but it's nothing too big. It's not like with the Xbox One X when I used to play that and my friend would come into my room. She said, "Oh my god, what the hell is that? The heat is coming too much." And I would tell her it's the system. She's like, "Dear God, how don't you die from that?" I guess I just adapt to the heat. But nevertheless, it does get a little hot up here. I'm kind of curious to see which part of the PlayStation 5 will get hot. But we'll have to see the performance test and see how it works. Let's look at the controller. So this is the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller, not DualShock. And yeah, it's basically the same thing from the PlayStation 4. Definitely an improvement. The PlayStation 4 controller was a huge improvement from the PlayStation 3 controller. I hated the PlayStation 3 controller, like with the oval thumbsticks and the triggers, but this one's far superior. I mean, get a closer look of this. These are the haptic triggers, which I will test in Spider-Man Miles Morales. The buttons no longer have coloration to them. Triangle was green, square was purple, circle was orange, and X is blue. But on this controller, it's not there. The light's a bit high, but there is no coloration to highlight the different buttons. Instead, it has a clear, transparent look to it. Like below it is a piece of icon and a piece of paper, I assume, or plastic. And above it is a clear piece of plastic, so you can see it. It definitely has that futuristic look that a lot of people have been talking about. I'm not sure if I like this design, like the whole idea of this. I don't know, it's a preference, but for me personally, I'm not really a fan of that. Triggers are still as responsive as ever, and compared to the PlayStation 4 controller, I mean, relatively the same in terms of like the design, but yeah, I'm thankful they kept the grooves on the thumbsticks. That was a major improvement that I loved, made it easier to play shooters and platformers because the PlayStation 3 one had ovals over it. So over here I have the PlayStation 3 controller and you can compare the two. So yeah, this is actually this is almost similar to the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 design. And this is where I was talking about the oval thumbsticks that made playing first-person shooters such a pain. And these triggers right here, it was just not good. It just didn't have that clicky response feeling that you would love from a controller when playing with precision shooters. Whereas they really modernized it with the PlayStation 4 version with this type of trigger, which was much more responsive, and the in-depth thumbstick with the groove inside, which I love with the PlayStation 5 controller. So definitely, it's basically if you love the PlayStation 4 controller, this is more or less the same with the more modern look to it. I kind of miss the whole coloration with the icons, but you can't win them all. Not really a fan of the microphone. That's one thing that I'm a little scared of because the microphone always being on is something I'm very concerned of. If you already know that all microphones, you should just assume that are always on. And this, of course, you can press down this button right here oh, it actually is powered on. Wow, that is okay. So they charge it before they ship the console. Okay, I take it back. I kind of like this. Now I see what they were going with. Like it has this type of coloration in the back. That's actually really cool. Like if you play in the dark, like I can see that really good. In fact, so the lights are off, and let's see how it looks. That actually looks pretty sick. I think it looks amazing. So that is the PlayStation 5 unboxing. I'm going to play Spider-Man Miles Morales. I'm going to see how the game performs on PlayStation 4 versus PlayStation 5. And, get an idea of the system's capabilities. So on the left side is the PlayStation 4 Pro version. I don't have a base model PlayStation 4, so sorry about that. And on the right side is the PlayStation 5 version. So this is the opening section of the game right at the beginning, trying to avoid spoilers as much as possible. But the opening gives you a good understanding. At the beginning, you saw a bit of the exploration when it comes to traveling through New York City. And on the PlayStation 5 version, I noticed that there was a bit more particle effects, reflections were better. But overall, the performances, as you can see, are pretty much the same. It's not really that much of a difference. Yes, one is more fluid than the other, but ultimately you are getting the same experience as if you got the PlayStation 4 Pro version. I'm not sure about the PlayStation 4 base model, but for the Pro players, you'll be able to get the same exact experience. Now, load times on the PlayStation 5 version are much quicker. I will make note of that. But in terms of actual gameplay and everything you see within the game, it is more or less the same. I will say that if you're used to the original PlayStation 4 controller, yeah, it's going to be a little more difficult. I noticed that due to the PlayStation 5's controller being a little more bulky and the triggers not being in the same position, that it does take a little bit of getting used to. When I was in combat, I suddenly realized that, oh my god, this is a little different than playing with the PlayStation 4 controller. I was able to instantly click to the original model because I played a lot of Marvel Spider-Man, as you saw from my Ultimate Spectacular walkthroughs. I played a lot of that game, so I was able to fight the enemies very easily. Miles has his own distinct style, which I'll get into when I post my review, but ultimately the control scheme for this game is more or less the same, but if you go to the PlayStation 5, you may have a little adjustment period as you get used to the bigger controller. But ultimately, they both perform very well. So there's my review of the PlayStation 5. It's a definitely good console, but if you don't need it right away, I wouldn't say get it. If you're just getting it from Miles Morales, I would say you can stick to the PlayStation 4 version, but there is of course an exclusive on the PlayStation 5 called Demon's Souls, which is highly anticipated. I didn't get the game yet, but I plan to as soon as I can. But we'll wait and see. But ultimately, the PlayStation 5 is definitely a sexy beast, and it is a glorious piece of technology. So if you can get your hands on one and you can afford it, yeah, I would go for it because it's well built, it looks amazing, and I'm so far having a good time with it. So if you like this video, consider leaving a like. Subscribing does help me out a lot. Maybe check out my Miles Morales content. I'll be posting it as soon as I can. I kind of have to put Valhalla on the side while I get through this game. And also check out my Xbox Series X unboxing. Till next time, everyone, thanks for joining me, and stay awesome.